Ladies and gentlemen, Florida State plays football again. I know that's sad to a lot of people out in Tallahassee. First off, in all seriousness, prayers up to the people in Florida. I live in Georgia, so we're getting hit with that hurricane as well, too. But I know they're getting the real big, bad brunt force of it. Good thing this is an away game over at SMU. Just make sure everything's good, great, and gracious. There's going to be a lot of rain happening there. So getting into the foosball, ladies and gentlemen. Like this video if you like it. Dislike this video if you don't like it. Subscribe if you like talking about college football. And let's get to talking about my favorite team in the ACC, them dang Florida State Seminole Roll. Shout out to Matt B. Great. Let's talk about some of these interviews, because we got some interviews from the SMU head coach talking about nobody missed the preseason projections in the terms of talent. So let's look at how he's thinking about this FSU team.
I mean, sometimes the scariest teams are the ones that have so much talent and just haven't clicked yet. I mean, nobody missed on the preseason projections in terms of talent. You look at their defense, they got 4 starters that are going to play in the NFL. They got long edge rushers. They got 2 massive defensive tackles. Their linebackers run incredibly well. They got 6'2", 6'1", 6-foot corners and safeties that can run. I mean, honestly, this may be, I feel pretty confident saying in my time here, this is without question the most athletic and fastest team we'll have played, and it's probably the most athletic and fastest team that's come to Ford Stadium in a long, long time. I know they've been struggling, but I mean, last year DJ was excellent at Oregon State, so it's in there, and so there's only a matter of time before it all clicks. And they got a win last week, they got some momentum, so these are the scary, dangerous ones to look at, because, you know, perceptionally people go, oh, they're struggling. There's plenty of talent over there.
Yeah. So there's a true respect there when it comes to how things are being handled, and I guess how they see them. Because at the end of the day, as much as we make fun of the Florida State Seminoles, they are a decent team. They are a good team, especially when it comes to talent wise, right? Making sure that they can kind of respect those is always going to be great and always going to be good in every way, in every aspect you think about. So moving on and moving forward, we're going to also talk about some of the Mabel coming out and see what the vibes are coming into practice here from FSU. They seem to be a little more moving and grooving, coming off that win. Seems like the weather didn't completely kill them. That's a good time and a good place and a good space. Just good things, man. Great stuff coming from him. Shout out to the man himself, doing it big and talking about the people of Florida.
Blessing to play this game, to be able to be at this great place, and we have so much focus on the game, but there's going to be lives that are absolutely impacted for a lifetime. It's something we've been talking about all week. Like I said, we have our plans, and if we need to adapt and adjust, obviously we will.
Yeah, so that's just a crazy thing. But let's get into the actual stats, facts, numbers, and things of that there. All right. Getting into the stats here, we're going to look at the head-to-head stats. We're going to look at their individual rankings, and we might even see how these guys rank specifically in the grand scheme of total rankings. I don't think either of these teams have big rankings when it comes to those, but looking at it, interesting about this one is they both have played the same amount of games. I know most teams have, but both of these teams played in week 0, so I think that is the thing that kind of separates them as well. So as we get into it, just think about that in particular as we get into it. So for the last 3 games or last 4 games from them, lost to Georgia Tech, which is looking like an even worse loss right now. Boston College lost, which is even looking like a worse loss. And I lost to Memphis, who just lost to Army, I think, or Air Force or something. It's not looking great. And then, of course, we barely beat Cal, the newcomer to the ACC, and somehow Cal looked even more depressing, even though they had some sparks there, here and there. The Stangs, on the other hand, handled Nevada, who is this? I have no idea. Handled this team, lost to BYU team, a BYU team that's starting to around the corner, look like a decent squad, as well as going crazy in the Iron Skillet Bowl Classic thing. They had skillets and iron, son. Sending to Mr. Sonny Dykes out there on the plank, made him walk it. DJ Ugly has more interceptions and touchdowns on the year. That's phenomenal. 72 for 126, 843 yards. Mr. Jennings on the other side, 479, 3 touchdowns, and an interception. Comes to rushing, they got a 30-carry, 147-yard rusher over there in FSU. That doesn't look great. And over there for SMU, you got Mr. B. Smith with 53 carries, 380s, and 6 of them things. Receiving yards, you got a 191 receiver and a 224 receiver on there on individual each side. Seems like the money and the people and the odds are all on them god dang prancing ponies. And I'm not going to expose it too quickly, but I am too. So first, let's talk about the stat rankings and where they stat. Starting off with them smooth ponies. Right off the bat, looking at the offensive rankings, points a game, number 22, so the top of 25 in the nation. Number 84 in yards a game, though, top 20 in points of play, and about middle of the pack, bottom of the pack when it comes to yards of play, third down conversion, looking a little rough at 74, bottom half of the league there. Don't like to see that. I want to see, but now you're going to get bored of me saying it, but third down conversion is probably one of them. Third down and red zone conversions are probably some of my favorite numbers to look at when you talk about the effectiveness of an offense. Look, you can put up points all day, every day, and twice on Tuesday, but if you can't make those yards when you can, I think that really separates from the offenses that breaks the wheels of defense and others that just score points randomly or just move the ball around without anything very significant. SMU's defense, though, opponents' points a game, bottom of the league, opponents' yards a game, middle of the pack, opponents' points per game. They're about a mid-tier defense when it comes to their overall stats. Going over to FSU's, we're going to see a lot of sad stuff here. Bottom of the league at offense in almost every single portion of this. And then mid to bottom of the league when it comes to every single defensive statistic point here. 109, 108, 104. It's not looking the greatest, but when it comes to their rushing statistics, it's even worse. Just bottom in calling, bottom in per game, bottom in yard. I mean, it's just terrible. It's awful. They need to run the ball if they think they're going to be effective anywhere in winning a football game. So FSU's defense against the run, though, not terrible. Number 60, middle of the pack when it comes to the opponent's yards per game, and then bottom-ish of the league when it comes to rushes a game and then rush yards a game. So that's decent. Hopping back over to SMU, which has about a middle of the pack offense when it comes to the rushing, and about a middle to top ish when it comes to this is a top defense when it comes to rushing, right? Top 40 when it comes to opponents' rushing yards a game, top 25 when it comes to opponents' yards per rush. That is pretty effective. Going on to their passing statistics, you got your completion percentage up top here. Passes a game up top here, kind of middle of the pack there. And then on this side, again, defense, middle of the pack. But a middle of the pack defense against an FSU defense, which you can see is, it's against a FSU offense and defense, which is also middle of the packy. Number 59 in interception thrown. That's not terrible. Again, middle of the pack. That's good that somehow he's only number 59 in interception thrown, and he has more interceptions than touchdowns. But in context, hey, could be worse, I guess. it could be worse. They rank FSU's defense does rank number 9 in sack percentage, so be on the lookout for that. Them boys can get to the quarterback. Hopping back over here and looking at some more of these stats. I want to look at some more of these deeper stats here and talk about how things are going to equate at. So let's go here and go here. Boom. Florida State. I want to look at some of their numbers. Obviously, 124th for points. Passing yards are 88th. Rushing yard 131. You got some nice, nasty recruits like we talked about at the beginning. So they should be able to load up again. But where are their stats here? I want to look at what they got going on here for the full scale of things. Like I said, 2 touchdowns from DJ, 3 interceptions from DJ. He's been sacked 11 times, 112 rating, so not the worst of all time. Rushing, we got 4 touchdowns. They've only scored a combined 6 touchdowns. They only have 6 offensive touchdowns, I think. Wow. 3 weeks and 6 offensive touchdowns. This is crazy. This is absurd. And we talk to the production of the rushing yards. Again, only 263 yards. DJ has a cool -3 yards. We got all these backs with plenty of carries. 2.7 averages, 3.1 averages. Ooh, a 6.5. Maybe this Lucas dude needs to get the ball exponentially a lot more. But this is some sad stuff. 50 carries between what seems to be the premier backs, and we've got a total of 200-ish yards, 201 yards. Not the most effective rushing attack, and we know with the passing game, even though it looks to be a little more effective, especially with the averages and things of that nature, it's not the biggest and baddest in the yard. Hopping over to SMU and looking at their statistics, take a peek at that. 9th in the ACC right now. You got your rushing yards leader here at 380, or receiving yard at 191, but I want you to see how well thorough this running back room is. You got your 380, you got your premier back. Then you got Kevin Jennings, number 2 rushing. So he gets after it. He be wiggling around. 7.2 in average, 5.5 average, 4.8 average, 4.2 average, 5.9 average, 3.6 average. I'm just saying, look at the way that they're attacking the running game with a plethora of backs. 380, 137, 105, 19, 47, 43, 27, 26. Like, they're getting value out of their running backs. They're not just having people run the ball. And Preston Stone, who did Preston Stone get hurt? I completely forgot Preston Stone was starting. So this is different. So he's actually had to share with Preston Stone. Did Preston Stone get hurt or did he get benched? Hold up. This is news to me. Hey. Preston Stone. Benched? What's going on here? What? I did not know Preston Stone. SMU turns to Kevin Jennings. Mustangs bench Preston Stones, hoping to navigate the inconsistent offense. Oh my God, I can't. Now, believe it or not, I hadn't been paying that much attention to SMU, so this is news to me. Okay, so let's take a read about this. So this is really gonna. Let me give you my prediction. Florida State is going to get smacked, okay? This is a quarterback that has only been starting with a few games. How many games played does he have? What, 3 or 4 games played? Or I guess 2? And he's already thrown for 479 yards. He's got 61% completion percentage. Let's see how many attempts. He's already has more attempts than Preston Stone. He's got a higher completion rate. It's not a higher average, though. He's got the same amount of touchdowns, same amount of interceptions. It's kind of crazy. He's been sacked 0 times, though. So that's an interesting thing to see, and almost over 100 yards more. So that's interesting to see. And then, of course, he's also been super effective when it comes to the running game with adding another 137. So this kid is interesting. But right now, it seems that the SMU Mustangs quarterback situation has taken a dramatic turn. In just 3 games until the 2024 season, head coach Rhett Lashley officially named Kevin Jennings to start on Tuesday, benching previous starter Preston Stone. The decision to start Jennings reflects SMU's need for a spark. Calm down, dog. Vulnerability in the offense, trailing. While they currently sit at 2-1, their opening game against Nevada exposed vulnerabilities in the offense, trailing early in the game. Stone was replaced by Jennings in the opening quarter after an early interception, who provided a spark by leading the Mustangs down the field for a score. However, Stone re-entered the game in the second half to lead the Mustangs to a come-from-behind victory after trailing 24-13 entering the fourth. 2 weeks later, Stone was replaced early by Jennings, who played in almost all but 2 possessions of the 18-15 loss. Wait, okay, yeah. For Stone, this demotion is undoubtedly a tough pill to swallow. He entered the season with high expectations after a breakout season in 2023. However, the offense has had its issues early on, leading to coaching staff's decision to explore other options. Obviously, as we've seen, he's thrown for 336, 3 touchdowns, 1 interception. While being benched in a setback, it's not necessarily the end of the road for the Stone. He will likely serve as a backup quarterback, providing depth and insurance in case of injury or poor performance from Jennings. Stone's experience and talent will certainly provide well for them next season. Additionally, Stone could explore the transfer portal after the season if he desires more playing time and a chance to reclaim a starting role. Transferring to another program could be the best option, especially if Jennings runs away with the opportunity. Jennings, on the other hand, has shown flashes of potential, particular with his ability to extend plays with his legs, like we talked about with the rushing yards. The coaching staff is hoping that he can provide a spark to revitalize the offense. So that is what's going on there. That was new to me. I had no idea. And this makes you should be so much more afraid as a Florida State fan about this. I think SMU is going to blow the doors off of Florida State. Give me 31-6 SMU. And it's going to be a coming out party for Kevin Jennings, and DJ Ukulele is going to stand back there looking like Plank from Ed, Edd n Eddy. You'd be amazing, though. You leave me your predictions down in the comments for FSU SMU. Are you an FSU fan? Are you a SMU fan? What are you doing? How you living? You'd be great. You'd be having an amazing day. Subscribe if you want to hang out with us and watch college football videos. Peace.